In the heart of Savannah's historic district stood a grand Victorian mansion, majestic yet slightly weary, as though it carried the weight of secrets long buried. The man who owned it was Richard Bennett, a retired millionaire who had earned his fortune in the hotel industry and real estate. A man of logic, calculation, and refinement, Richard was known for his sharp mind and sharper skepticism. He didn't believe in ghosts, curses, or anything that couldn't be explained by science or reason. When Richard bought the mansion, a relic from the 1880s, he was drawn not by the tales of mystery that shrouded it, but by its stunning architecture and potential for restoration. The mansion had a colorful, if unsettling, history. Rumors whispered of disappearances, especially of children, that had occurred in and around the house over the last century. But Richard paid no mind to urban legends. To him, they were just stories. Old wives' tales kept alive by romantic historians and over-imaginative neighbors. With care and passion, Richard began restoring the mansion. He made sure the craftsmanship honored the original designs: wood-carved moldings, stained glass windows, and grand staircases, but he also installed modern amenities. Over time, the house transformed from a crumbling relic into a blend of vintage charm and luxury comfort. One spring, Richard's sister came to visit for a few days, bringing along her 8-year-old daughter, Allison. A quiet child with wide, curious eyes, Allison wasn't the kind of girl to chatter or run wild. Instead, she moved slowly through the house, her gaze often lingering on the wallpaper, old paintings, and creaking hallways. She would often stop in front of a tall, antique mirror that hung in the second-floor corridor, standing there in complete silence, sometimes for several minutes, staring not at her reflection, but at something behind it. On the third day of her visit, Allison approached her uncle while he was reading in the study. She leaned in, as if sharing a secret, and whispered, "There's a door behind the mirror upstairs." Richard looked up from his book, amused. A ghost story? From little Allison? It seemed unlike her. He chuckled and dismissed it at first, but that night, alone in the dim corridor, something gnawed at him, a strange restlessness he couldn't explain. Driven partly by curiosity and partly by something deeper he didn't quite understand, Richard decided to check. He carefully removed the heavy mirror from the wall. Behind it, the wallpaper looked normal at first, but as he examined closer, he noticed a faint, nearly invisible seam, a vertical line that broke the pattern ever so slightly. He pressed against it, and to his astonishment, a section of the wall gave way. Hidden behind the mirror was a narrow wooden door, expertly disguised and untouched for decades. Not even during the house's restoration had anyone noticed it. Heart racing, Richard opened the creaking door. A musty scent greeted him, the smell of time long forgotten. A narrow passage led downward, spiraling deep into the foundations of the house. At the bottom was a small, dimly lit room. Dust coated every surface. The space looked like a secret hideout, silent, abandoned, and chillingly preserved. Antique toys were scattered across the floor. Cracked, leather-bound children's books sat neatly on a shelf. An old iron-framed bed rested in the corner, its mattress faded and the fabric peeling. On one wall, Richard saw a series of height markings, names and dates written next to each line. The markings stopped abruptly in 1924. Lying on the floor, as if it had just slipped from a child's hands, was a doll enclosed in a cracked glass case. It was pristine, untouched by time, and it sent shivers down Richard's spine. He later learned that a young girl named Mary Grace had mysteriously vanished from the mansion in the 1920s. The case had baffled the police, and despite an investigation, no body or trace of the girl had ever been found. The room, sealed and hidden behind a mirror, had remained a secret all this time. the police were alerted and the investigation was reopened. Historians and forensic experts were brought in. They determined that the hidden room was very likely used to house a child in secret, possibly for years. But by whom and why remained a mystery. Records uncovered later revealed that the family who owned the house during that period had ties to several suspicious adoption cases and defunct orphanages. Nothing was ever proven, but the puzzle pieces painted a disturbing picture. Richard was shaken. The mansion he had lovingly restored held a chilling secret. He decided to never seal the door again, but he also never put the mirror back in place. Instead, he turned the hidden chamber into a small memorial and opened it occasionally to local historians and researchers. He hoped it might one day help bring peace to whatever spirit might still linger, or at least serve as a reminder that the past can't always be buried behind pretty wallpaper and fresh paint. As for Allison, she never said another word about the house or the door. It was as though, having spoken her piece, her role was complete. She simply returned to her quiet ways, her eyes a little wiser perhaps, as if she had seen far more than she could explain. Sometimes the truth hides in the places we least expect, in forgotten rooms, behind innocent faces, or in the whispers of children. Richard Bennett learned that not everything in life can be explained with logic or dismissed as fantasy. Some mysteries demand not just investigation, but belief. The mansion, once a symbol of beauty and restoration, became a testament to the hidden pain of the past, and a reminder that history, no matter how well concealed, always finds a way to speak.